Empty the chamber on them. And how do you do that? First 6 seconds, 8 feet, everything you got. Everything you got. Turn that shit up. Let's go.
Welcome to Scoop World Order. We are live. It is Wednesday. We're getting really close to the foot hitting the ball. The work week is over for the kids. It is Wednesday. They have a Thursday walkthrough practice, but now the pads are coming off. It's time to get nice and fresh. It's time to go whoop Indiana. We're going to get into that with the great B. Moses. But as always, we're going to talk about a little bit about what we heard in the press conferences the last couple of days. What we expect from the defensive coordinator at Indiana, kind of who we need to see step up, who we're excited to talk about, the quarterback controversy, derby, whatever it is. Is it set? I don't think it's set. I think the next 3 weeks is going to be huge for these kids' careers. So we're going to get into all of that, as always. And, of course, we appreciate you guys so much for tuning in with us. Thank you so much. Again, welcome to BuckeyeScoop.com. Welcome to our YouTube channel. If you enjoy this content, please click a like, click subscribe, and also click that little alert bell. Again, if you guys want the best companion in the world for your Ohio State football experience, join BuckeyeScoop.com. Our message board is going absolutely bonkers right now, and we have the best contributors in the game for inside information. So I hope to see you guys on there. And as always, shout out where you guys are watching from. I love to see that. And comment, who's going to start the Notre Dame game? I'm really dying to know if you guys are going to pick Devin Brown over Kyle McCord. It's going to be very interesting next 3 weeks. With that being said, bringing in the guy who was the hostess with the mostest last week, my man, B. Moses, the greatest meme maker in all of Ohio State media, and also one of my favorite people in the entire world. Appreciate you, brother. I just want to start off, your thoughts on Kyle McCord being named the quarterback. Does it stick? Does it not stick? Are you going to have to make some more memes to get people a little chafed? I'm just dying to see what you think about the quarterback controversy.
Man, listen, I made a meme earlier today where I slapped my head on top of a therapist, like Buckeye Nation therapy, like, yo, like chill with these conspiracies and these elaborate, backdoor alley stories about why McCord got picked. Listen, man. And I said in the caption, I said, you trust Ryan Day or you don't, right? Because, on one hand, every other time, we like, oh, Ryan Day's the QB whisperer. We good. But then when it comes to not picking your guy, then here comes the conspiracies. Like, you see what I'm saying? It's like we can't have it both ways. So I believe Ryan Day. When he said McCord has been more consistent down the stretch, I believe that. I don't think Ryan Day is going to put somebody out there that he doesn't think is going to give him the best chance to win. He wants to win. He needs to win. This is a huge year. We all know that. Why would he trot somebody out there for politics instead of just flat out trying to win? With all that said, the door is cracked for Devin Brown. They're both going to play. As long as McCord doesn't pull a Notre Dame podcaster and crap himself on the field. If y'all haven't seen that, go look that up. Google it. As long as he doesn't do that, I think he's good, to be honest with you. But Devin Brown will have a chance to go out there. And I don't think how some are saying it's going to be late in the third quarter when it's 45-3. No, I think Devin Brown's going to be out there. Let's say it's 14-3 or 17-3 Ohio State late in the first quarter. I can see Devin Brown trotting out there or the second quarter. I think he'll be in there in meaningful snaps. So it'll be interesting. But if Kyle McCord handles business, runs the offense, he doesn't have to be a world beater. Just make the throws, execute, lead your team. I think he'll probably be good to go.
Does it worry you that they've been through 25-ish practices plus all of spring, and they really don't have a clear-cut starter? I mean, to me, like I've lived through Justin Zwick and Troy Smith. I was there with Craig Krenzel and Scott McMullen. Obviously, Craig won the national title. Scott was going to beat him out, but there was a little drumbeat for Scott to be the starter because he was a little bit more accurate than Craig was, especially his last year. We've seen Cardell and JT. I mean, Cardell won the national championship, beat Bama, one of the greatest wins in Ohio State history that was a non-national championship win. And the next year, they made him the starter. And I worry a little bit because, playing at Ohio State at any time is not for the faint of heart. But when you're the quarterback and you're in an even battle, it's almost like you're set up to fail or get, eaten alive by the fan base. Like, it's like poor Cardale, who I love to death and should have went pro after he beat Oregon, stayed.
Yeah.
And all that we heard about was, the Piranhas came out and said, we want JT Barrett, which, Braxton Miller, who was supremely talented. People wanted Kenny Guyton over Braxton. This is kind of how it is. Like, people, they argue about Dwayne Haskins versus Joe Burrow. And Dwayne Haskins, in 2018 had the greatest passing year in the history of Ohio State football, 50 touchdowns, like 8 million yards, and beat Michigan like 62-10 or whatever it was, 62-14. And people still are like, well, we should have started Joe Burrow, even though Joe Burrow in 2018 wasn't good. In 2019, he took the limitless pill and became the greatest quarterback. He turned into Tom Brady, became the greatest quarterback in college history. But, he wasn't good the same year that Dwayne Haskins was phenomenal. So do you worry about that at all? Do you worry about the state of Kyle? I'm sure Kyle's, locked in. He's not reading message boards and Twitter. At least I hope not. Do you worry about that at all?
Yes, the thoughts go through my mind. I know I'm very aware of all those situations. Now, there's different nuances and variations with those situations that we can kind of differentiate. One of the bigger things is we haven't seen Devin Brown play on the field. Like, all we're going off is reports, practice reports, insiders, media. And so Ryan Day is telling us it's not a situation like, dang, both suck. Which one sucks less? He's saying both are really good. They like both, and they're both capable of winning games, but they want to see who's going to have that edge once the bullets start flying. Hence why they're both playing. But McCord has the lead because of how he's finished down the stretch. So it's too early for me to, because I've seen all types of comments. Someone even said, oh, this is just like Stanley Jackson and Joe Germain. They even pulled that one out. And I'm just like, how? Like, y'all just pulling two quarterback stuff from the past and it's out of context just to say it. We don't know enough to know if it's that deep yet. So I think once we see the game Saturday, I think we're going to have a lot more information to kind of figure out what's going on. And so is Ryan Day, to be honest with you. I really think at this point, Ryan Day is saying, listen, Kyle, you finished the strongest. You were the most consistent. What Jim Knowles in the press conference said, he was steady, a steady hand, just steady. That's a good thing to hear from your quarterback. So as long as Kyle McCord handles business and steps up and show and proves when the bullets are flying, I think he's good. But I think he's also saying, if you don't, you had your chance. Like, it was given to you. Now the whole world can see that Devin Brown was better if that happens. So
yeah, for me, I just think that Devin Brown's going to have a huge advantage once we start going live versus live bullets, live pass rush. Again, I don't think Indiana has any type of pass rush that'll compare to Jack Story and JT. But Josh Sims has never started a game at left tackle. Josh Fry actually started at right tackle versus Indiana last year, which is kind of a nice little footnote going into this game. But mobile quarterbacks are basically handcuffed and shackled during preseason when they're not allowed to scramble, they're not allowed to run, they're not allowed to create. Because again, one of the greatest quarterback competitions ever was Justin Zwick versus Troy Smith, and if you tie their legs together and they're not allowed to go out and scramble and create, it'd be like if you took away Steph Curry's like crossover or something, or you took away like what's like Allen Iverson's like the most dangerous move you could do. This like debilitating, because Troy was a fantastic runner and he saved our bacon and carried us versus Michigan in 2004 and 2005 with timely running, timely scrambling. When we stunk, we weren't very good, especially on the offensive line. We stunk, and his running broke their back, especially versus man coverage. And I think Indiana is going to be aggressive. I know they're going to be aggressive because, Paul Gariani is a Jim Knowles disciple, and he might, and by disciple, he's like Peter. Like, he's not like one of the disciples who's way down the line. He's like the number one disciple. So like, they're going to be man coverage, bring in the house. Exactly. So, if you're in man coverage with your back turned to the quarterback, Devin Brown's in there, you better get on your vapors because he's going to be running. I mean, he's going to be taking off. And again, I think there's nothing greater in the universe than when a quarterback scrambles when everybody's covered. They have a perfect pass rush. They got the guy kind of caged in the pocket, and then the quarterback takes off and gets 8, and it's 2nd and 2. And then he takes off again and it's 1st down. Like, I mean, that is absolutely backbreaking. It's absolutely demoralizing to not just the defense on the field, but the offense that's sitting there watching it on the, well, I don't know if Indiana has a Jumbotron, but like the Minitron or whatever they have in Indiana. They might have like a little like 8-bit or 16-bit TV over there that's on there that shows the plays. But because Bloomington does suck. Bloomington does suck. It's a dump of a stadium. But again, I'm excited to see the full picture because I feel like when you put these guys in the black jerseys, non-contact jerseys, you never get the full photo because there's some guys that they can create and they can get loose, and then there's some guys that can't, and they're all kind of cobbled together because they'll say, oh, that's a sack, that's a touch sack, oh, he was close, and there's a lot of times where a defensive lineman will get their hand on somebody and they can't get him down or to the ground, or they can't. And they can escape. And, in preseason, if they just touch you, oh, that's a sack. And I'm like, well, he wouldn't have gotten him down. There's no way. So I'm excited to see that. Because like I said, guys that can run, they've got to, like, it's like Justin Fields, like, got a weight in my heart. Because I know that, like, I know how devastating it is when a quarterback can take off on that defense. And you see, it's like you see the air come out of the balloon. Defensively, who are you excited to see? I think Jack Sawyer is going to go absolutely bonkers this game, like National Player of the Week kind of bonkers. But who are some names on defense that you're excited to check out this week versus Indiana?
Man, all of them. But no, Kenyatta Jackson is one that I'm thinking about right now. Just listening to the coaches, even hearing what Mo said about him the other day, how he's been flashing since the spring and how he leaps off the tape. And I want to see him. And, of course, Sonny Styles, man. Like, my dude, shout out to Dwayne, my homeboy, in my little football chat. He was like, man, I'm so geeked about Sonny Styles, man. They talking about this dude like he walk on water. Like, they just pumping him up like crazy. And they are. I mean, like, Sonny Styles is getting so much praise and buzz, and I think we're all waiting to see how he plays, because if he really executes his assignment and his position the way that they're saying he does, he could literally be the key cog to this defense really being the next level because of his ability to be so multiple. So I want to see how he's used, how he's deployed, how effective he is. I want to see all that. Now, we may not be able to see the full picture against Indiana, but we're going to be able to see something. He's going to have to make a tackle. He's going to have to cover at some point, and I can't wait for it. But this D-line in general, but Kenyatta Jackson is the guy I want to see, because we expect Sawyer. He was a 5-star, and he's a Columbus boy, and he's back at his natural position. He's been killing it. I really want to see if Kenyatta Jackson lives up to the buzz and adds another ferocious edge rusher, along with JTT and Sawyer.
Yeah, I think Kenyatta and Caden Curry are two guys that are, you gotta get. I mean, it's go time now, man. You got your freshman year out. You got get that out of your system. There's a great chance. I mean, I would bet my house that JT is going pro after this year, and I'd bet my car that Jack Sawyer is going to try to go pro after this year. So those two guys are going to be our starting DNs next year. So it's time to get them in the rotation. Like, they're not freshmen anymore. They're not like behind Zach Harrison and Javonte Jean-Baptiste. I mean, like, they got to be regulars. I mean, they got to be regulars at the show. Excited to see Tywan Malone. And we need 4 or 5 D tackles, man, because I'm telling you, D tackle is the hardest position physically in football, because you get killed, you get double teamed, you get whammed. Like, I mean, it's a brutal position. And again, the injuries that we sustained last year and during camp reflect that, because when you hear Ryan Day talk about the injury report, oh, who is it? Oh, Mike Hull, shoulder. Oh, Tyleek, lower body. Oh, whoever. I mean, like, severe injuries. Again, because it's a dog pile in there, and it's nasty and it's grimy, and you need these guys to roll. I'm really excited to see what we get out of Sonny. I thought it was a crime against humanity how little we use Sonny. I know Sonny he was very underage last year, being a high school senior playing in the Big Ten. But he was in like the fourth play of the game versus Wisconsin, third or fourth play. He was in there and he took on their fullback who was coming with like the neck roll and the big your cowboy collar and the whole nine. And Sonny split him in half, like killed him. And I was like, oh my God. And this kid's like 17 years old right now, and he just did that to that fullback. And then he didn't play the rest of the game. I'm like, how do you take that kid out when he just took out a fullback from Wisconsin and stuffed him? And then he goes and stands there and is handing Gatorade to Josh Proctor or whoever. I'm like, that was a joke. Tanner McAllister, here's your Gatorade, Tanner. It's like, dude, put Sonny out there. Because again, at some point, you got to let the dogs eat. You got to let the talent flourish. And again, that's why I think Sonny playing Sam linebacker and back to free safety, if they want to put it in the third corner, it's going to be fantastic. One thing that I'm dying to see, how much do we play three corners? How much do we have Hancock, Igbenos, and Burke on the field? And, what does it look like on the back end? I assume it's going to be Lathan and Sonny in the back end. Do you put Sonny up at linebacker? Because there's a lot of talk in the Woody Hayes that he's going to be the will linebacker next year next to CJ Hicks. I mean, that's a lot of talk because Sonny's like one of those guys where he's like one of those like piranha plants in Mario Brothers where he's just going to keep getting bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. So it's like, once he gets eaten, it's like Arvell Reese. Like people are like, oh, well, Arvell Reese might move back to linebacker. It's like, no, he's not. Are you crazy? He's like 250. I mean, 250-pound linebackers anymore. Yeah. Once you start once you get down here and they got Chick-fil-A every day and they got Wendy's and Papa John's and whatever. It's like, he ain't going backwards. You crazy? It's like all of a sudden he might be a D tackle one year. I don't know. But like they moved him down to DN. I was like, once you go down to DN, man, there ain't no coming back. His next stop's going to be offensive guard, if he keeps eating. But again, he's been flashing and I'm happy for him. But I've just, I've lived it like with guys that I came with guys that, like I played with Curtis Terry. Curtis Terry showed up weighing a $190. He was a $190, like speed, tried to play at linebacker, speed rusher. Then he started eating a lot of food, too fitty, he's playing D end and linebacker and everything else. It's like, guys, it's just a natural progression of guys. They get bigger. Not many guys get smaller unless you cage them up and feed them water for dinner or whatever. And most of these guys, they start lifting with Mick, man, they're going to pack on 15, 20 pounds. And, if you're already 230 when you show up, dude, I'm telling you, the meal plan's crazy. Cause like they got Bravo, Cheesecake Factory, like Panera, Chick-fil-A breakfast, Chick-fil-A lunch. Like, I mean, that's why most of those coaches look like parade floats. Cause they've been eating good. It's like, it's tough. But like, I don't know who else, like, what is your mindset going into this game? What do you want to see these guys execute? And what is your prediction? You don't have to give me a hard prediction because it's still middle of the week. What is your prediction as of Wednesday? And you can obviously change it as more intel comes out. But what are you thinking as we're at the midpoint of the week?
So I've been digging into Indiana a little more. I'm still digging. I'm still reading up on their information, their insider stuff, their updates, who's flashing, what to expect. I'm reading more into that. I heard they got 23 transfers that have come in, which is a whole lot of transfers. But with that said, these aren't transfers from Alabama either. So this is not, at Minnesota 2 years ago. This is not at Indiana. When I went to the game, when was that? Back when JT was still playing and J.K. Dobbins started. Even that Indiana team was pretty solid. I don't think this Indiana team is really good. I just don't. So what I want to see from the defense, I want the defense to not give up no more than 7 points. Maybe a couple field goals in the second half. I want this defense to dominate. Like, period. No excuses. That's what I want to see. First and foremost is domination from this defense. Also, I want to see us establish the run. We have too deep of a backfield. We have a new quarterback, and we have an O-line who I believe, as I've said in previous videos, want to put a hat on a hat to get their feet wet. Like you said, Kirk, you said this in videos, nothing better to get you going than going downhill and blocking and running and mushing and open those holes up. I want to see is establish the run, pound it, and basically dominate in the trenches on both sides. Period. And we can play action. We can catch for a deep ball here and there, but that's what I want to see. There's no reason why we should not dominate. We should have at least 200 yards rushing in this game, like minimum in this game. So that's what I want to see, and that's what I think I'm going to see. Like I don't think, and I could be completely wrong. Ryan Day could come out and say, "Listen, we going, balls to the wall, spread them out 5 wide." He might just surprise us all, but I don't think he's going to do that. I think he's going to 2019 it, like I said, line up under center a lot. And by the way, Nevadabuck dropped a phenomenal nugget earlier today. He also mentioned that there's talk of going tempo to help kind of keep Tom Allen and that blitz soon as you get off the bus package at bay. And that'll also help Devin Brown and Kyle McCord to be able to avoid that and whatnot. But I want to see domination of the trenches, running, and our defense smothering and dominating. Those are the main things I want to see. Like, that's it. Like, if I see that, I'm going to be super happy on Saturday. Oh, and I'm sorry.
Okay.
I got 48. I got 48 to 13 Buckeyes.
I think that's about right. I think we're going to smother them. Like I just think the tempo thing is so powerful, especially when a team is going to blitz, because I know that they're going to. I mean, last year they blitzed us to death. This year they're going to try to blitz us to death. I mean, last year they were blitzing Paris and Dwayne and Luke Whippler, and I mean that's like attacking a walled city. You're blitzing a bunch of guys that haven't played. Jimmy Simmons has never played left tackle before in a game. And if you were my quarterback, you was to say, if you're McCord or Devin Brown or BMO, to say, what are your 3 favorite plays? Okay, I want Marvin on a post. I want Marvin on a slant. I want Marvin on a hitch, whatever. Like, okay, and then off that, I want Emeka on, a jet sweep, like a jet or like whatever you want. Let's say, okay, that's what we're gonna call it. We're gonna call it. We're gonna go fast. They got to adjust to it. If they're gonna blitz us, they're gonna be in man. Marvin and Emeka will absolutely destroy these guys if they're trying to cover in man coverage. So they'll be wide open. And you just want to give them nice, easy throws to start it off. It's like hit those. This is like hit the layups, hit those little layups, get them confident. Yeah. Again, like I don't mind taking deep shots. If you have CJ Stroud and he's got some his sea legs under him, but that's like taking a shot, a 70-yard shot. I mean, it's like shooting like a 35-foot three. It's like you could hit it if you're great, but I mean, it's easier to hit a layup because the layup is right there. And if you Marvin on a little quick hitch, just get 3 completions, get in your rhythm, get the ball out quick so the O-line doesn't give up any sacks, so they can get a little confidence going. And again, I think like running the ball, under center runs, play action pass where the O-line has a lot of help with Cade Stover, G. Scott, whoever, Joe Roy, whoever's at tight end, whoever's at tailback, do some 7-man protections, 3 guys out in the route. There's a lot of things you can do to help the O-line out, take some of the stress. Like, again, I'm just worried about the pass protection. I'm worried about the comfort of the quarterbacks. Those are 2 things I worry about. And there's ways to there's mechanisms to make it very easy, very simple. And then there's sometimes where I watch guys in the NFL that look like total idiots because they go empty 5 wide and they'll have, their guy, their tackle who can't handle Von Miller or Micah Parsons just get eaten alive. And I'm just like, these guys actually get paid to coach, and they're just that stupid that they're going to leave some guy that clearly can't handle a guy like Micah Parsons or Nick Bosa, and they leave him out there on the edge. And again, Indiana doesn't have guys like that, but even still, you still want to protect your tackles, figure out who's the better pass blocker between Josh Fryer and Josh Simmons, and and just go from there. But again, tempo is the great equalizer. When teams like to blitz, they can't disguise anything if you go tempo because you're going to be going fast. There's no messing around. There's no rolling coverages. There's no check with me's. And, you go tempo first, check with me after that. I think that's the way to attack Indiana. Well, it's been a great show, brother. You have any final thoughts on the week? It's been a great week. I'm just excited for football to kick off. Obviously, Thursday night we got Florida, Utah. So kind of yes. 2 names of 2 programs that are, Florida used to be, dominant, and now they're just kind of whatever. And Utah is actually favored, I believe. So it's going to be real interesting to see how that game shakes out. But any final thoughts, my man?
Yeah, I mean, like you said, Thursday, man, it's go time, y'all. Like we've been waiting for this big weekend for months now. Like I'm super geeked. I'm sitting here thinking like, okay, what wings am I gonna get with my pizza on
Yes.
Saturday, and what drink
Yes.
am I? You know what I mean? I'm like, it's it's like the most the most
Yeah.
wonderful time of the year. You know, you know
That's
what I mean?
right.
That was terrible voice, but
No, I mean,
so
and we're off Monday too. Lit.
yes, that yeah, thank you. That is like the beautiful cherry on top of all of that.
Yeah.
Thank you, Kirk. Like, how could I leave that out?
I'm just saying.
So we're grilling out this weekend too. I'm just excited.
No.
But I'll say this to Buckeye Nation. Listen, Nevada, our homie Nevada also says this: cherish every game because
Yes.
the season goes quick, y'all. I know we love to complain and be spoiled little brats, and just
Yes.
every little thing that goes wrong, we just want to just tear our hair out. McCord is going to throw an incomplete pass. Okay, it's okay. Like we're going to be fine. Don't spaz out in the group chats and be saying stuff that you wish you could delete later. Y'all know how y'all go. But just have fun, man. I'm excited, and let's do this, man. We're gonna get this dub, but it's finally here.
And also don't bet more than you can afford, because if we don't cover or we don't hit the over, don't be yelling at these poor kids, man. Oh my god, because it's like Jay-Z says, if you can't buy it twice, you can't afford it. So if you place that bet, and we don't cover. Don't send the mean tweets to these poor kids, because I can see that being an issue this year. So, well, I appreciate you, brother. Great show. We're gonna wrap this thing up as always. Got my boy B Moses in the building. Appreciate you guys as always tuning in. We're gonna be coming back real quick here in about 20 minutes with Nevadabuck. But if you enjoyed the show, please click a like. Again, as always, we appreciate you guys. Click subscribe. Send it to all your friends, family, anybody who's an Ohio State fan. And also click that little our little dinner bell that gives us an alert, gives you guys an alert when we are on. Again, appreciate all of our regulars being here. See Sue, see Goj, see Brass Tacks, all you guys. And also shout out where you guys are from. Love seeing where you guys are watching from. Got Naples, Florida in the house. Saw Portsmouth, saw Cleveland, Canton. Again, it's amazing seeing where I've seen Turkey, India, all through Europe. We appreciate you guys so much for tuning in as always. So. And if you guys want the best companion there is for Ohio State football, join BuckeyeScoop.com. We are growing like crazy. Our site is absolutely on fire. Great predictions thread, great nugget today on the game plan. Jump on there. We'd love to have you guys on there. Got a golf outing coming up in a couple of months, so we're going to see if I can hit it straight or not. So appreciate you guys. I hope you guys have a great rest of your day. Go Bucks.